It's the off season, which means there's no news and we all watch videos on repeat of our favorite quarterbacks failing to make the simplest of passes in training camp. Looking at you, JJ McCarthy, please fail for my sake. As this is my channel's first video, it was kind of hard to come up with a compelling topic to write a video essay on, especially in the dead of the off season. Well, with recent news regarding our favorite streaming service Netflix and its exclusive Christmas Day game coverage, I thought it would be interesting to take a deep dive into the NFL's recent transition into streaming services and why it actually kinda makes sense. Before I get started, I want to clarify that as a fan, making NFL games as a whole more difficult to watch is incredibly unfortunate and honestly makes me pretty upset. I don't think that my opinion is necessarily unpopular, I just thought it was needed in order to clear some things up. So when did the NFL start its exclusive streaming? While the NFL in the past has always had this sort of exclusivity with some of its games, either by branding games as specials or the YouTube deal and Sunday Ticket, the first major shift in NFL exclusive streaming came after the 2021 season when Amazon acquired the rights to Thursday Night Football prior to the 2022 regular season. Amazon would pay $11 billion for the rights to Thursday Night Football, paying $1 billion per year for it. To make this deal even better, or worse depending on what side you're on, Amazon would get some of the worst games to ever see the light of day. The NFL really shafted Amazon twice, knowing that they could just put the Broncos, Panthers, Commanders, and Bears on and still make $1 billion. While the decision to take Thursday Night Football and put it on Amazon wasn't unpopular, it wasn't really popular either. The general consensus was that a lot of people already had Prime, but saw it more as an inconvenience. Those who didn't have Prime really didn't risk a lot either. Most teams only play once on Thursdays per year, with the Titans being the only team to play twice in Week 11 against Green Bay and then Week 17 at home against Dallas during the 2022 NFL season. During the 2023 season, the Steelers, Saints, and Bears would all play on Thursday Night Football twice during the season, so the issue of restrictive viewership became more talked about. It doesn't really help that so far this trend only seems to continue. For the 2024 NFL season, the Jets, Bengals, 49ers, Browns, Seahawks, and Rams are all slated to have Thursday night game repeats, meaning they'll play more than one game on Thursdays per season. While this isn't really seen as a huge issue for most fans who don't have Prime or who don't care, it can be reasoned that Amazon's acquisition of Thursday Night Football directly caused some of the largest issues that players have with Thursday Night Football itself. That being the fact that players seem to not like how little rest they get between Sunday and Thursday, and the fact that they now can have two back-to-back Thursday night games and double Thursday night games during the season. Now, it was announced prior to the 2023 season as well that the Dolphins would play the Jets on the official Black Friday game. I'm under the assumption that Amazon just wanted more games to increase the likelihood that they'd get better games, considering the trash heap they were forced to broadcast throughout 2022. The Black Friday trend will continue for the 24 season, with the Raiders playing the Chiefs Week 13. Amazon, however, isn't the only culprit of the NFL's sudden fascination of shilling its exclusive rights to third-party streaming services. It was announced in early 2023 that Peacock would exclusively stream a regular season and wildcard playoff game for the upcoming season. The deal was over $100 million and caused a sizable amount of confusion and uproar online. Restricting Thursday Night Football to Prime was inconvenient, but it really didn't matter to a lot of people. The issue came when the NFL just restricted a playoff game to what is essentially a pay-per-view. We know now that Peacock reported the weekend of the playoff game as success, netting them around 23 million new subscriptions. They also claim that currently their subscription rates haven't really dropped since. The success of the exclusive Chiefs-Dolphins game proved to the NFL that it can work. Come March of 2024, the NFL announced that Peacock would be the exclusive home for the NFL's first regular season game in Brazil. Some of this really didn't come as a surprise to a lot of people, as Peacock already showcased some of the NFL games with the CBS partnership. So it was really only a matter of time until a desperate streaming service sought out a large product to pull viewership. Oh, and I guess Amazon is hosting a dumb, stupid playoff game for the upcoming postseason, so I don't know. Good job, Amazon, or whatever. You really did it. You knocked it out of the park with this one. The real panic sort of came when Netflix and the NFL came to an agreement regarding the upcoming Christmas games between the Chiefs and Steelers and Ravens and Texans. Netflix would pay around $75 million per game. it's pretty clear to start building a motivating factor to why the NFL is moving games to different streaming services, but we'll get into that later. This news sort of cracked a lot of people, and it was a clear sign that the NFL was and is currently more than ready to move a lot of their product onto third-party services. To be fair, the NFL is most definitely better off pushing its games onto other streaming platforms rather than starting their own exclusive platform. Instead of spending money making their own, why not make money from other companies willing to pay the price to have an NFL game? So why the sudden exclusivity? You can argue that the NFL is in it for the money, which, yeah, is correct. I guess you really don't need to argue that the NFL is in it for the money because it very clearly is. The NFL is a business, and whether you like it or not, the NFL making more money directly affects your team. That's right. This past offseason, the NFL's salary cap went up 13.6% from $224.8 million to $255.4 million per team. This was huge. Several teams who were on the border of cap hell were saved by the $30 million increase in cap. This, according to the NFL, is due to the COVID season cap repayments as well as a, quote, extraordinary increase in media revenue. Some will say this is due to Taylor Swift, but I'll argue that the success of the NFL's exclusively streamed games is one of the primary factors. You could also say that the NFL being able to continue to raise the overall cap per year at a consistent rate of around $25 to $30 million per year could keep them in the good graces of the NFLPA. While the current collective bargaining agreement, CBA, doesn't end until March of 2030, staying in the good graces of the Players Association could help the NFL add more regular season and playoff games, more playoff teams, and an overall higher product. Having an increasing salary cap, while nice, doesn't really guarantee the success with the NFL and the Players Association. I'm just throwing out speculation here. I understand that these negotiations are long and have lots of back and forth conversations and can be pretty complicated overall. The NFL has also argued that they're not moving to streaming just for the money, but rather to where the audience is. To an extent, I understand it, and it kind of makes sense. With the idea of multiple streaming platforms being around 5 years old now, most people have accepted they'll have to have multiple in order to watch what they want to. The NFL sees this not as a shared audience with cable, but as a completely separate one. The NFL is able to recognize that streaming platforms pull large amounts of people from different age ranges who don't have cable either because they don't want it or just don't care. To the NFL, being able to put their content on streaming services gives them the potential to tap into a whole new market, potentially new generations as well. This is clear to see when looking over all the reported successes of each of the specific games the NFL has sent to streaming. And to be fair, they're not wrong. I will resubscribe to Peacock to watch my team play in Brazil this season. Will I forget to unsubscribe? Possibly, but maybe in that process I'll find something that will keep me on Peacock. And this is exactly what these streaming services are hoping you do. They're not just hoping that you forget to unsubscribe, they're hoping that you find products on their services that keep you around. In theory, it makes sense, and I'm sure eventually all of these streaming deals will even out so the winner or loser won't be as clear. But for now, it seems that the NFL has won just due to the sheer amount of money they're making on these deals. And the deals won't end. So what are the ramifications? Well, for starters, more games the NFL gives exclusive rights to. It's clear to see the success of this process, so it's unlikely that the NFL will stop with Netflix. The NFL seems to be taking it all pretty slow, either to test the waters or to help acclimate fans to the new broadcasting experience. Either way, their slow approach is a smart decision and they'll continue to benefit from it. That being said, I don't foresee a world where every single game is exclusive or every team has their own service they stream on. It makes sense for the NFL to continue to push their primetime games onto streaming services. Thursday Night Football to Amazon, Peacock getting an international game, Netflix securing Christmas Day games, etc. It seems that the NFL recognizes that moving all of its games to streaming is an awful idea, especially with the current cable deals they have. And I really don't see the NFL leaving cable unless cable outright dies. The next potential step I can see is every playoff game being streamed on an exclusive streaming service. Really, whoever plays the most for the rights to stream the Cowboys losing in embarrassing fashion or the Bills losing to the Chiefs. Another possible idea I've sort of seen thrown around is having a service so that fans who are out of market can access their games easier without having to use a VPN or sail the 7 seas. I'm not really sure how this concept would work, but I can see something like it in the future if the NFL sees considerable losses due to fans not being able to watch all the games. All in all, the NFL has most likely been planning this move to streaming for a while, and probably knows exactly where they want to be within the next decade. They're taking their time, dipping their toes in the water, and testing the market. Simple fan backlash won't be enough to prevent the NFL from having exclusively streamed games, and the NFL doesn't really care if you don't like it. They know you'll come around eventually, and they don't need to wait for you. There's a whole new untapped market of people who haven't figured out they want football yet. The NFL wants to grow, not by adding more teams or by making the overall product of football better, but rather as a brand. Them wanting every team to have an international game per year, the exclusive streaming deals, the TV deals, the seemingly endless brand deals. The NFL is a product, and they want everyone to know it. Thanks for watching Late Flag Sports. I've been your host, Brady Mayer, and I hope you all enjoyed this short little video I've made. If there are any other video topics you want me to discuss, please let me know in the comments below. I'm yearning for ideas. Please help. I'm dying, and God save the Packers.